Hello my little hatchlings and welcome to the clutch if you are new. Today in this video I'm going to be showing off 3 of my best pottery pieces that I have done in pottery class that I have explained in my previous video talking about my backstory. So shall we begin? So this first piece that I am about to show you is my biggest piece right here. This is my dragon head incense burner. So this one took me about a month, maybe a month and a half. I don't know exactly, but it's around a month that it took me to make this. This thing weighs probably around 15 to 20 pounds. Not sure, but that's just like the best estimate as to what I feel. This thing has got some good weight to it. So the horns are not solid. They are hollow. Biggest rule that I learned from the pottery class is that when you are making anything like this, you do not want it to be solid clay. It has to be hollow clay. And I've seen plenty of examples from other students and from my own pieces that needs to be hollow because they shatter in the kiln. And that's spelled K-I-L-N. It's a machine that fires the clay. But so how I began this project myself is that I made the bottom jaw first. The top jaw I started making after I made the teeth. As you can see, he's got a row of teeth. Now the top teeth, I did not put a whole lot of teeth. So he's missing some teeth. Maybe he's got some teeth problems, or maybe he went to a fight. So, after I have made the teeth, I put the top part of the head on. Then I started adding the details of the dragon, like the ridges here for the brow effect. I cut his eyes out and I shaped them the way I wanted them to be, and then I put them back on. So then, you know, it has like depth and some shape. I didn't want it to be flat. I wanted it to have some shape to it. So to attach something like these thorns and these spike like horns, so what I had to do was I used a rake-like tool that's like the it kind of looks like a miniature rake, but you score it first. You score the pieces first on the sides that it's going to meet and, you know, clamp together, and then you got to smooth it out with another tool. Maybe I'll show an example in another video, but that's what I did to all these extra pieces that I put on. The horns were not that hard. I thought the horns was going to be the hardest, but the hardest piece about this was actually the teeth. The teeth was the hardest, but since I already got past that, I was doing the easier parts. Now, these scales are individually made. So what I did is that I took a piece of clay, I flattened it out with a roller pin, and I made it thin, but not too thin. Then I started cutting out all the scales, and then I had to mist them down a little bit with a squirt bottle. And I started doing the scales right here. That's because since they are laying over each other, kind of like dominoes, I didn't want to start here. I wanted to start right here, so then I could just start from here to right here. I had a lot of fun doing this whole entire dragon head, but the incense part, I purposely made the tongue removable. So it's got that ridge, that gutter-like ridge, to catch all the ash. And sometimes the ash falls on the tip of the tongue. But I didn't actually lick it, don't worry. But I made a hole right there, and I used a tool to make sure that the incense will sit diagonal like it's supposed to. And then I slip it right in there and I light it up. The nostrils, I purposely carved them out to where the smoke will come right out of the nostrils, but sometimes the smoke comes from the sides of the mouth, and it actually adds a very cool effect. You know, just lighting up the incense and letting the dragon just breathe out its smoke. So on to the next one. This next piece is a 3-piece type of pottery. So here's the base of it. It's supposed to be heaven and hell, or light and dark, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why I made this exactly, but this is the only piece that I've made in the pottery class that shattered badly. I'm thinking it probably had some air bubbles that I was unaware with, probably because of how I put this middle piece on. And when I put this middle piece on, and I soaked it too much around this area. It was more dry on these sides right here. So maybe there was an air bubble, but I still got it glued together. And I'm not going to sell it to anyone. I'm just going to keep it for myself. But making the clouds was very easy. See, they got that swirl effect. I wanted it to have like a nice theme right there for all the heavenly clouds. Oh, sorry. Of course, I got the snakes wrapped around. I don't know why I put snakes wrapped around this middle vase thing. I have no idea. Maybe I was just thinking of Slytherin or something. I don't know. But making the flames right here was challenging. It was very challenging. Because some of them just fell off and some of them were too soaked or too dry and stuff, but I managed to put them on very well. See, they got these spaces here for the other individual pieces, as to why I said 3 pieces. So here's one of them, a little cat angel. So I used I think I used a piece of paper to draw the wings out, and I made the feathers individually with the clay, and I fused them together. This is the only thing that fell off of him. Well, it didn't actually completely fell off, but it fell off during the glazing process. But his feather is broke, but it's not missing. So he still has got his feather. It's just he's not very happy about that. Probably because of this guy. But he got punished with his toe missing. So this one is the demon cat. And he goes right there. Now, I don't know why I made the kitties removable, but in my opinion, I think it's cute. I think they're cute, and it was a lot of fun to make them. Of course, with the wings on this one, I drew it and then I like carved it, traced it from my own drawing since I cut them out and stuff. Here's something I realized about. If I put these two together, right next to each other, the angel cat is slightly taller than the demon cat. Okay, slightly taller. But I kind of have a cute little story about this. So these two have a forbidden love, but they make a perfect balance. Because you can't have daytime without nighttime, and you can't have nighttime without daytime. Light and dark, they go together very well. So maybe I'll make a story about these two. Maybe not. I don't know. Now to the next piece. Now this next piece right here is my favorite of all. And this one was the most challenging. That dragon head that I showed looked challenging, but it wasn't as challenging as this one. I made this look almost exactly like you see treasure chests in Zelda games. Here, let me move the camera just a bit so then you can see the dragon the whole thing. Okay, so it does not have any hinges. So I pretty much made this kind of like a jewelry box. I made the little feet right there. I painted the strips here with brass colored glaze. Some of it ran down a little bit, like right here. You can probably kind of see it, but you see it mostly right here. See that? It ran down, but I kind of like it. Kind of like it onto the navy blue right here. But how I made this was difficult. So how I had to do this, so the pottery instructor showed how she can make boxes out of clay. And it got me inspired to make this. So kind of like with wooden boards, you got to have all the sides, okay? But also you have to cut a specific angle for the corners to meet, okay? So she taught all of us students how to make a box out of clay. And so what I did is first I made the bottom. Then I made the sides, but I made the sides like that, okay? I did not cut that part yet. I was going to leave that after I did my idea. I was just seeing if it would work. So then I made the next side. I carved it. First, I had to flatten the clay at a certain thickness, okay? And I used a specific machine that she had. It was not like a, you know, it's hand powered and stuff. You got to crank it and stuff. I could barely remember exactly how I used that thing, but it made this thing very well. So the next piece I did was right here. This whole thing was a one piece at first. So I fused them together using the corner technique that carpenters usually use to angle the wood first, and then you meet the corners together. Welders do this too. They do this all the time. Maybe I'll explain that in another video, but you get what I mean. Next thing I did was I used a cutting tool to cut that, cut the sides, and cut the back. Then I ended up with two pieces. Then I started working on details. I started using slabs of clay to add to, like, making it look like metal strips on the clay. I put the horns on this and the little stone right there, and as you can see, there's a little sleeping dragon. I wanted to make this dragon like a handle, so it works just right. So he's just kind of like plastered on there. This cute little purple dragon. I know, he looks almost like Spyro. But at the time I was making it and painting him, I wasn't thinking of the video game Spyro. I was thinking of purple dragon with yellow. Just a contrast against this as best as I can. I didn't want to use any warm colors. The only warm color I wanted was this one right here. Because I had a specific, well, actually the feet would be considered a warm color too because of the yellow. I wanted it to look kind of goldish, but I think it worked out really well. Like, there's some dribbles from the brass clay, but the instructor, me and my instructor decided to leave it that way because it kind of lifts a little bit. So it works out. I love it. I'm very proud of it. I keep important little mementos in there. Tiny little gifts that people has given me. So yeah. Well, that is it on that video. Hopefully that you have enjoyed it as much as I did. Please check out my other videos that I have made previously. I have one of them posted right here, or could be right here, whichever side I pick. But make sure you hit the subscribe button, click on that bell button for notifications. I will be posting videos every single Friday. And make sure you hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.